All right, we are going to be taking notes, summarizing our what we learned yesterday about light and defining light, doing the reflection, refraction, and absorption, okay? So I am going to zoom in to the top. I'm not folding my paper this time because I'm basically like drawing a picture on my paper, but I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn my paper this way. I am going to turn my paper. And I am going to have my line. The great thing about using notebook paper is oftentimes it gives us lines. So I'm going to create a line. And we are going to be talking about light today. So somewhere in the middle, I'm going to write the word light. Light. The light we see is called visible light. The spectrum of visible colors we see is because of the different wavelengths that light rays have. Now, I just read that to you, but I'm going to write it right here at the top, okay? So I'm writing the light we see is called visible. So the light we see is visible light. The light we see is visible light. Do I need to zoom in on that? The light we see is visible light. The spectrum of visible colors we see is because of their different wavelengths that light rays have. So, the spectrum of visible colors we see is because of the different wavelengths that light rays have. So again, the light we see is called visible light. The spectrum of visible colors we see is because of the different wavelengths that light rays have. All right, so the light we see is called visible light. The spectrum of visible colors we see is because of the different wavelengths that light rays have. All right? So, we have light. So with that light, you have vibrating. So vibrating. You have vibrating light. You have electromagnetic waves. electromagnetic waves. And then kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. All right, so now I am going to draw a light, which is going to kind of look like the sun. So the sun is light. I know you're not going to be able to see that very well, but it is yellow. So I'm kind of drawing the sun in the middle to show light. It's not anything fancy. I'm just being cute, that's all. And then on the left side, we're going to talk about refraction, okay? So I am going to draw kind of a prism. If you know how to draw this, draw a triangle. I'm going to make a skinnier triangle off to the side, and this is a prism. Oh. That is a prism. I drew this triangle first, then another little leg off to the side, and then closed it off. So the light from the sun hits this prism, and then from the prism, you get color. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So then it shoots off different colors. This is called refraction. So refraction. Refraction. I'm going to zoom. Can I zoom in on this? Y'all nod. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on refraction. Refraction is light waves bend. So light waves bend when they pass through different substances because of light changes. So refraction light waves bend when they pass through different substances because light changes. It bends. You get a distorted image. Distorted images. Kind of like a magnifying glass. Yesterday we did an experiment. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if I can show you. We did an experiment in class, and you can try this at home. I don't know if y'all be able to see this, but I took a picture of it. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that when we put a pencil in water, see how the pencil looks like it's broken? That's refraction, okay? It distorts the image, doesn't it? And so when you use a magnifying glass, it kind of sometimes makes images a little bit bigger. That's refraction, which distorts the image. I will give you a minute to finish writing this down. All right. The next one. The next one is going to be, I'm going to do reflection on the other side, okay? So let me zoom out. I am going to do reflection over here. So, oops, where'd I go? Reflection. Reflection. So reflection. Reflection is, write it down first. Reflection is when light hits an object and the photons bounce off the surface. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Reflection. Reflection is when light hits an object and the photons bounce off the surface. Bounce off the surface. So I'm going to give you a minute to write that down, and then we'll draw a picture. So reflection is when light hits an object and the photons bounce off the surface. All right, I am going to zoom out so we can draw a picture of what reflection looks like. So if I have like a wave of water, then the light comes down and bounces off, right? It bounces off. That is reflection. Light bounces off. I will give you a minute to do that, and then we will do absorption. All right. So, absorption. I am going to zoom out. I'm going to put absorption down here. So, absorption. Absorption is when light energy transfers into the object as heat energy, it is called absorption. So absorption is when light energy transfers into an object as heat energy. As heat energy. It's kind of like when you're wearing dark clothes in the summertime, you get hot really fast, right? It's because your dark clothes are transferring the sunlight into heat energy or thermal energy, correct? So I'm actually going to draw a dark t-shirt, small little t-shirt above my absorption. Yeah. Or I'm going to do it down here. And I'm going to do it up here. So I'm going to draw a small t-shirt, dark t-shirt. Color it in because it's dark. And it just soaks up the light, right? It doesn't bend, it doesn't bounce, it just soaks it into heat, correct? You just heat up. I will give you a minute to do that. do want to add another little piece to this, just so we can clarify a definition of photons. Photons. So photons are tiny little bundles of energy. They are just tiny little bundles of energy, all right? All right. I am going to zoom out because I know that some of you would like to finish, so I will leave this up for a second. So when the video is up, you'll be able to pause it wherever you need it to. Right now, I am going to glue this into my journal. Or, actually, I'm going to leave this up for just a second. You need to make sure that you glue it into your journal. Mine's going on page 9. So I am going to write on my table of contents today's date, which is the 7th. This is properties of light. And mine is going to be glued down on page 9. Now, I really hope you guys have been keeping up with your science journals and putting everything in here. Because when you have an assessment, you'll be able to use it and refer back to it, right? But if you have all your notes and all your entries scattered all over the place, then it really doesn't do you a whole lot of good. So you want to make sure that you keep it all in one place, okay? All right. When you are done writing down your notes, you need to make sure that you take a picture and submit it today. This is due today. Do you understand? I have a due date there. For every date that it is late, you will be charged points off. So you want to make sure that you are snapping a picture